Hello students, today we will discuss about the topic heart. So, heart is a circulatory system present in our body. Heart is a part of circulatory system which is present at the center in our chest cavity. So the position of heart, what is the position of heart? Position of heart is it is present in the center of the chest cavity. Okay, so this is the position of the heart. It is present at the center but tilted towards the left. Generally we say that the heart is on our left side. It is not true. The lower part of the heart is slightly tilted towards the left side. Okay, so this is the position of the heart. What is the size of the heart? How much big or small our heart is? So one's heart is of the size of his or her own fist. See, this is the fist. So this is the size of your heart. Your heart size is equal to your own fist. Okay. One's own fist. So, and what is the function of the heart? Why heart is a very important organ of our body? So, heart circulates the blood to all parts of the body. It pumps the blood. Its function is to pump the blood to whole part of the body. Okay, so this is the basic information about the heart. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the structure of heart. So, human heart is made up of 4 chambers. Human heart has 4 chambers. That is left auricle or atrium, right auricle or right atrium, left ventricle and right ventricle. So these are the 4 chambers of the human heart. Now, how does our heart look like? So I'll draw a rough diagram and explain to you the structure of heart and its function. It is slightly tilted towards the left side. So this is the partition between the left side and the right side. And this is the partition between the auricles and ventricles. That is atrium or ventrium. So these are the 4 chambers of human heart. This is right atrium. This is left atrium. This is right ventricle. And this is left ventricle. Heart is a double layered organ. It has one more protective layer around it. So it is a double layered organ. These are the walls of heart. So walls of heart is a bit thicker at the ventricle side. Why it is so? We'll discuss it later on. Okay, so this is the basic structure of heart. So now coming to the there are certain more parts in the heart. We'll discuss it along with the explanation. So there are two vena cavas, that is veins. See, we have already studied that there are two types of blood vessels in our body, that is arteries and veins. Arteries carries oxygenated blood. Arteries carries oxygenated blood, that is oxygen rich blood. Oxygenated blood. And veins carries deoxygenated blood, that is the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. So the two veins, that is called as vena cava. Vena cava. One is superior vena cava. The upper one is called as superior, and the lower one is called as inferior. These are the parts of vena cava. So superior vena cava and inferior vena cava brings the deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body. All parts of the body to right atrium. Okay, so blood goes to through superior and inferior vena cava to right atrium, and from this right atrium, so from right atrium, the blood flows to the right ventricle through valve opening, small opening in this muscular pathway. This is called as tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve, the pathway between right atrium and right ventricle, is called as tricuspid valve. So blood goes from right atrium to right ventricle through tricuspid valve. Now from right ventricle, the blood flows to here inside the heart. A blood vessel goes which opens directly into the lungs. Okay, so the blood flows from vena cava to right auricles. From right auricle, it goes to the right ventricle through tricuspid valve, and from right ventricle, the blood flows to the lungs through pulmonary. This is called as pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Okay, so pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to the lungs. Okay, so deoxygenated blood from all body parts. Deoxygenated blood from all, that is the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. The deoxygenated blood from all body parts goes to the right atrium through vena cava. From right atrium, it flows to the right ventricle through tricuspid valve. From right ventricle, it flows to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Now, in lungs, exchange of gases takes place. Okay, the carbon dioxide releases out and the oxygen is absorbed by the blood cells. Okay, so in lungs, exchange of gases takes place and the blood becomes rich in oxygen. Now our blood has become oxygenated, that is rich in oxygen. So from lungs, blood again flows back to the left atrium through pulmonary vein. This is called as pulmonary vein. The blood vessel which carries oxygenated blood from lungs to left auricle is called as pulmonary vein. Now blood comes to the left atrium. From left atrium, the blood flows to the left ventricle through bicuspid valve. Here two valves are there, so it is called as bicuspid valve. Okay. So now the oxygenated blood has come to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle again here one more blood vessel is there which goes inside the heart, and it opens here above the heart, which has 3 openings. Okay, so this is called as aorta. A-O-R-T-A. Aorta. Aorta is the largest artery in the body. Aorta is the largest artery in the body. Okay, from aorta the oxygenated blood flows or passes to all parts of the body parts. Okay, now again I'm repeating, from in the lungs the exchange of gases takes place, our blood becomes oxygenated, that is rich in oxygen, and this oxygenated blood flows to the left atrium, and from left atrium the blood flows to the left ventricle through bicuspid valve, and from left ventricle the blood flows to aorta, and from aorta the oxygenated blood is passed to the all parts of the body. Now earlier in video I told you that the walls of the veins are thicker and the walls of the atrium are thinner. Why it is so? So the reason is atrium or auricles passes the blood to the shorter distance, from atrium to ventricle. Here also from atrium to ventricle. So it has to apply very little force because it has to pass the blood to the very short distance. Therefore, it has very thin wall. But ventricle has to apply large amount of pressure to make the blood to cover a larger distance. See here, from right ventricle the blood is passed to the lungs, so it is covering a larger distance, and here also from left ventricle the blood is pushed to the aorta to be passed to the all parts of the body, right? The ventricle needs to apply more force, more pressure. It needs to pump the blood with more pressure so that the blood reaches to a larger distance. Therefore, ventricles have thicker walls, whereas atrium have thin walls. Now, the muscular structure. This is the muscular structure which separates right side of the heart to the left side of the heart. It is called as septum. Septum. Okay. So the muscular wall which separates atrium, right atrium to left atrium, or right auricle to left auricle, is called as arterial septum. interarterial septum, and the muscular wall which separates right ventricle to the left ventricle is called as interventricle septum. So altogether it is called a septum. Okay. So here I'll draw a small pathway of the blood which flows from the heart to all parts of the body. First of all, blood from all body parts goes to the right atrium. From right atrium, blood flows to the right ventricle. From right ventricle, the blood goes to the lungs. And in lungs, exchange of gases takes place. The blood becomes oxygenated, and this oxygenated blood from the lungs comes to the left atrium, and from left atrium blood goes to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle it is pushed to the aorta, and aorta pushes the blood or passes the blood to all parts of the body. So this is the pathway of blood flow in our body. So this is the proper structure and function of the heart. Now, as we have studied, the blood flows from right auricle to right ventricle, then from right ventricle to lungs. So all in this process, when the blood contracts, the blood flows from auricle to ventricle, and when it relaxes, so this contraction and relaxation of blood is pumping, and this helps the heart to pump the blood to all parts of the body. Now, the contraction of the heart. Contraction of the heart in scientific term or in the terms of science, it is called as systole. Okay, because in this contraction, ventricle muscles contract. Okay, so contraction is called as ventricular systole. Okay, because in contraction, the muscles of ventricles contract. So this is called as ventricular systole, and at the same time the atrium undergoes relaxation. So this is called as diastole. Okay, so contraction and relaxation. So relaxation is called as diastole. Okay, so contraction, when ventricle muscles contract with a certain force to push the blood to a longer distance. So this is called as systole, and at the same time atrium relaxes. So this is called as diastole. So now this contraction and relaxation produces a sound. When the heart pumps in the form of systole and diastole, it produces a sound that is called as lub-dub. Lub-dub. And this is nothing but heartbeat. So the sound of heartbeat is lub-dub. Okay. And this lub-dub sound can be easily detected by stethoscope. You might have seen that the doctor uses stethoscope to check the heartbeat. Okay, so stethoscope is an instrument which is used to check the heartbeat in our diagnostic centers or clinics by doctors. So it easily catches the sound of the heart. So stethoscope is basically made up of two earpiece and a chest piece. These are two earpiece and this is chest piece, and these are two hollow tubes. which passes the sound. See here, this chest piece has very thin membrane which vibrates even on a slightest sound. So when it is kept on the chest, heart is making a sound of lub dub. So the membrane on the chest piece starts vibrating, and this vibration reaches to our ear. So stethoscope is used to check whether the heart is functioning properly, or heartbeat is proper or not. Generally, a healthy person's heartbeat 72 times per minute. This is a normal heartbeat. Now, always remember one thing, that the muscles which make heart, or the muscles out of which the heart is made up of, is cardiac muscles. So heart is made up of cardiac muscles, and the blood flow inside the heart is called as cardiac cycle. So basically, cardiac word is related to heart or the circulatory system. I hope you liked today's video. See you in next video with a new topic. Please do subscribe my channel RKS Simplified Learning and press the bell icon for new upcoming videos. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.